So my name is Vijay, and I'm from Bangalore. Originally, I'm from Orissa, but it's like almost last, I think, 18, 19 years I'm in Bangalore. I've come, did my MBA over here, been working in the L&D field from the very beginning. I've been training for MBA colleges, then I have trained for retail sector. I had my own NGO long back. I've trained for, the last stint was basically with Urban Ladder. Urban Ladder, I was heading their L&D function as such. And last couple of years, I've started my own organization. I call this Up and Rise. Basically, unlock your potential and you can rise. Over here, we do L&D consulting. Like we set up L&D functions for different organizations. We do a lot of training deliveries. We do process enhancements. And basically the 5 core areas of L&D, what you people might be having a clue of, I just try to work out over here. Almost all my career, I try to build content and deliver training with something called as an activity-based learning. When I say activity-based learning, this is all about games, all about simulations, any topic, any content that we need to train, how well we can bring in activities into it, how well we can bring in something where people involve and participate, and that is how the overall interest for the participant should come. So I've been working on those lines. But so that this particular program is all about teaching you people or informing you people more and in detail of how an engagement is possible, or how an engagement is supposed to be done to ensure that engagement actually happens the way we wanted it. And that too in a digital era, how is it that possible? So we will go in those lines. So we'll come to the digital bit slowly. First, people should also understand how engagement happens, how activities happens. So before me getting there, I would like a little bit to know from you people, like what exactly do you think of engagement? Do you people really do something over there in your organization? Do you do personally yourself, or what is it that interests you that, so that's so that I can connect the right things to you while talking. So I'll pick some names, which are there over here. I would be happy if you can, unmute yourself and talk to me. It's okay if you want to come on camera or not. That's your wish, but it's an interactive thing which I wanted. Are we okay with that? So use the chat room.
Yes.
Yes, very good. Okay.
Yes.
Wonderful. So whatever little time we have, whatever little people we have, see, on a Saturday morning, we all have come together. We should ensure that this 1.5 hours should be of some use to us, right now and for future. So let's work towards that. So it always depends, I'm sure you're all from HND and HR and L&D functions. The way the training goes is completely on how the participants respond. Do you really want it to be a workshop way or a one way? We can work out. So let's start. Who want to start first?
Yeah, so I'm Swapna. I would like to talk.
Yes, Swapna, tell me.
As I'm into placement and recruitment, I really I've not worked in employee engagement, but yes, student engagement and client engagement, we do work. And as this is a pandemic, so now we have turned to digital, we are using digital tools to engage our students and the clients.
Right.
So what I've done, we have made a WhatsApp group with the candidates who have enrolled recently.
Mm-hmm.
And now their journey has started of learning course, but they have not started yet with placement. But I feel that we should give do engagement from the day one, so that they will be aware that why they are there. So what I'm doing is I've started talking to them about their technical things, also about their communication part also, and I share with them the JD parts which we receive from clients. So I guide them, say this is the JD and this is how you have to analyze that, where your skills are, where you need to work on. And then I'm sharing many things on WhatsApp to them to have a good information, more and more information about Seed Infotech, more and more information about uh, their goal, which they shared me in the first session. So I'm trying to do this. And for clients, again, I'm talking to clients and I'm understanding that what are their future, what are their projects, and how things have changed in this pandemic. So how they're working, how they're trying to get projects, especially the companies who are service based companies. So how we can, I'm also giving them idea that, see, after 2 months, 3 months, I'll be having 30 candidates who will be trained on .NET or who will be trained on Java. So will you have such kind of, do you have such kind of openings in future? So this is how we are working. Not exactly employee engagement, but yes, I'm really curious to know about employee engagement, because continuously we are listening about employee engagement,
Got it.
especially digital employee engagement. I heard about the games. Many companies are conducting games for their employees,
Right.
and many activities are happening. So
Right.
I'm very curious to know about this.
Wonderful, wonderful. So what you are doing currently, it's like engaging at a very different level. People who are yet to come in. What, as you say, mentioned over here is, once for an employee, how do you ensure people who are all with you? How can you engage them? Even you could pick a lot of stuff from this, which you can try to use it. So the intention over here is, when it comes to the kind of work what we do. So for everybody, we are quite engaged with our work, and when we only interact with our people only on our work
Yeah.
thing, and the engagement goes in one level. But once you come out of the work, and that's how you basically build a team, that's how you get people connected to one another, and you build that connectedness to the organization, the trust in
Yeah.
the values. So we will understand a little bit more over there. I will keep that in mind. Thank you very much, Swapna. Anyone else
Thank you.
next? One, two more ideas. Supriya, you're from the L&OD team. I would be interested to listen to you. Anybody?
So, can you hear me? It's
Yes,
Surendra.
yes, Surendra, I can hear you.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
So, yes, so like what already Swapna added, more than that, what I felt during like this 6 months,
Okay.
that somewhere normally when we are in office, it's very common that we basically have some casual discussions or some casual chat with at personal level, which helps kind of brings the team binding.
Right,
Okay. What I started feeling over the period of time, it started getting lost and somewhere kind of frustration getting generated. So
right,
one of the thing which I started like bi-weekly, we spend like all together a team sit for half an hour and we decide some small game for 15-20 minutes and 10 minutes of casual chat where everyone like talks about some personal thing, makes some jokes or something sort of thing with video on, because
wonderful.
what is missing, that personal touch is missing. So if we have
Yes,
video on, that also gives the expression, everyone is fine and everything automatically comes. So this
exactly. I'm just now missing that. I can only see my face here. I was like, okay, I don't even know how my audience are. Are they are they having fun? Are they serious? Are they not serious? I know all the questions what you're talking right now. I have it in my mind. I know the single word. You would have seen when I started how the sound comes, and once I listen to you, the change in my voice, and so this is very important. And I'm sure, unfortunately, people are like so much camera shy, and they just don't want to come in front of it and see, okay, that's one of the challenge which we need to face. We'll understand about that. Very good. You're from which company, Surendra? Surendra, you're from which organization, you said?
Yeah, I'm from Kamau India Private Limited.
Okay. And you take care of HR?
No, no. Basically, I'm a manager. I'm leading the team of digital software.
Wonderful, wonderful. I was actually expecting, when I was designing this program, I was thinking the kind of people who should attend this program is the HR people who takes care of engagement, and the process owners, or like how you said, a manager who is leading a team, because they have a very they need to understand small quick things, which we all do a lot of engagement, we all try to do a lot of engagement, but there are always little connection missing. If you can do that also, then the overall thing works good. We'll discuss about that. Thank you very much, Surendra. Anyway, anyone, we can take two more people, because the kind of input you give me, the way I put my conversation in that way, so that it's helpful for you, rather than I will just say what I have prepared and thought about it. That's not correct. We should be doing it for the audience. Anybody who is in this field and they want to understand, or they're doing themselves, they're going to contribute how it is done.
Hi, I'm Zakir here.
Yeah, Zakir. Good morning.
Good morning to all, and we are taking care of HR and engagement activities.
Wonderful.
In fact, we have a very focused approach on this. We last 2 years we have been doing focus up survey on this. That is voice of employee. Every year we do it. Last
Okay.
cycles we have done.
Okay.
And we understand from people that what is really required and what
Okay.
is missing.
Okay.
Based on which we make two levels of engagement programs. One is at the manager level, and second is at the senior management level. Senior
Right.
management means the driven from top to bottom kind of thing, and managerial is where it is within the function and across his function.
Right.
The actions are very focused, like when we it are very based on the findings which are coming, wherein attributes are very specific in respect to the growth of people. It is in respect to the relationship with the management, relationship with the managers, with the peers, and the actions are designed based on that.
Right.
So some of the actions, like we do skip level meetings, wherein we try to get in contact with the employees. We try to understand their feelings. We conduct that meetings, and we do take some actions. We also understand because see, we are a mix. We have both mix of IT and also EPC together.
Okay.
So our people are also on sites, and also we also try to understand what is missing over there, how the feedbacks are working, how things are working, how connectivity is established with the senior management.
Right.
We do conduct some sessions on it. Then other than this, when we talk of celebrations and all, we do some festival celebrations. We do every quarterly town hall meeting. In the current scenario, we do it virtually, wherein the senior most management team addresses the entire forum, all the people. It's through the video conferencing kind of thing.
Okay.
We have this, and we also try to understand from people what's there down happening. We also brief them what's going on in the company, so they are aligned and understand where the company stand and what's their role and what is expected out of it. So,
Interesting.
so things work in this, and we have tied up with Maclean for 2 years.
Okay.
Prior to that, we were doing in-house survey. We did twice in-house, and then we went external with Maclean.
Wonderful, wonderful. Right. So different interventions, we do with people, and some of the interventions we, fortunately, unfortunately, connect it as engagement things. All are obviously engagements, but certain things are work related, certain things are not work related, and unfortunately, because of this pandemic, it so happened people thought people are working from home, so they have more time for their home, and I'm sure you all would be experiencing it. You'll end up spending much more time than what you were doing earlier when it was not digital, because the connects increased, people interaction increased, number of meetings increased, people keep talking, and that's one particular way of engagement. There are a few things that we have, what we need to keep in mind. I'm sure you would have done many things in that. Let's see what all things involved to bring a little zing in life, little fun in life, not just being serious about work. Unfortunately, people also have this perception that if you are having fun, or if you are joyful at your work, then you are not doing a work. If you put a very serious face and then do something, then you are doing a serious business, which I don't think right at all. I'm sure many of you would understand. At the same time, as an HR, I'm sure there's a very different level of challenge, because in general, engagement itself is a very challenging task. Only the HR folks or HR fraternity would understand the emotion. Otherwise, correct me if I'm wrong, we normally have this kind of jokes floating around, like, what each organization or department does. And when it comes to HR, they will have something funny to talk about, but they would really do not understand how important this little funny stuff require to keep the company together or the organization together or people together. So that plays a wonderful role. We'll get in more. Supriya have put a message. Okay, Supriya don't want to talk to me. We come up with virtual employee engagement calendar every month. Very good. It includes mind and wellness webinars, online quiz programs. We have set up teams, channels to post employee artwork, hobbies, etc. Wonderful. A lot of things you're doing. So it's like this. See, we all have a definite idea. We all have some work towards it. There are certain small things. If I put this question to you, we all do engagement, and that's actually the main question for this entire webinar, that do we really do engagement? So that if we know that we are doing the engagement, how much of this engagement do you really think is working? How much of this engagement is really creating that engagement? You would have different challenges, I'm sure. So let's understand each one little detail, and let me move in that direction. So also put few skills that you might want to know in 2020. We'll come back to this by some time. So there's a case study that was done by Economic Times. That's the source from where I got this. An employee survey of more than 500 companies revealed that employee engagement is 81% more important after the pandemic. In the initial, now it's little loosened up, I'm sure, but in the initial times, the struggle what people had, they had no clue. We are not used it so much to be a digital kind of a working environment, and for many organizations, maybe IT is still little okay, but imagine operations, imagine HR. Never thought. We always like people interacted, people think, and suddenly everything becomes digital, and everybody is like too much trying to connect to people, and then we did a lot of stuff, right? Yet the same study also found that only 15% of employees worldwide are actually engaged. So what I'm trying to bring a point here is, when we try to connect something with their work, as an employee, their understanding is it's an intervention with regard to my work, right? When we say engagement, their idea is more like, how am I trying to connect to the overall thing, rather than just a small team. In general, in organizations, we have this challenge that we will all have close connectedness between teams, right? Like an HR team is close, maybe HR team is one team which will be open with many people. But when you say an operations team, or especially finance team, if you would see, they're like very close. A customer service team, very close. Among teams, we have very little thing, and that's exactly where the engagement really comes in place. And when we say in digital era or doing it digitally, it's more challenging. Slowly we will come back, because I somehow personally believe digital, these all things will change to a level, but end of the day, the personal touch and what we really crave for will come back in a short time. So it's important to understand engagement in those lines. How do we do it? A same thing which can be done physically, or even if it's digital, like how we converted our entire work from physical to digital, can we convert our engagement plans from physical to digital, rather than only the interaction? That's exactly the whole thing. We also have done a survey by my company itself, and we found that 66.7% people think that employee engagement is extremely important, and 33.3% people voted it is important. So my point is, out of the entire lot we have researched, 100% people think employee engagement is important or extremely important. Now there is always also, when these people said, these are not the HR folks who have voted, these are like the business folks. Entire for all my clients and my people have sent this survey. Most of the people feel that yes, employee engagement is required and we need, but then they are not also so open for it or participation for it, because they cannot see the kind of a change so quickly. It's something comes slowly. We need to see how that needs to come. And the interesting thing is 44.4% of people think they are not satisfied with the employee engagement systems in the organization. So one thing is, when we say I'm doing this, I'm doing that, is basically we are setting up an engagement, which is a very good thing. We have taken some steps. Many organizations don't even do that. But the other thing to see is, do they feel for whom we are trying to engage that, am I connected? Am I feeling happy about it? Or I'm sure you would also face a lot of challenges where you want to do something and then people participation is like, there was this, one of the organization, I was trying to create a digital learning module where, when I was interacting with that company's HR, she mentioned, I have a very basic, simple challenge which I am not able to come out with. Can you do something on it? I said, what's the challenge? They say in all these meetings, especially they use Zoom in their company, right? And she says, I try my level best to ensure people come on camera. People switch on the mics and talk. Maybe 20-30% I'm successful on the mic bit, but 100% I'm failure on the camera bit, because people just don't want to come on. And that's such a basic thing to engage. How do you engage people if you don't even see how they are, don't even see how they're feeling, right? It's such challenging things, and we need to find a route. How do we go about those things? Right. So why employee engagement is important, right? We all do different things. We all know different things. I'm sure you also understand that it is important. But if you question a little more, is it really important? Or if it is important, what is the importance of it? Why do we really need an engagement thing like this? Right. So there are, to reiterate the need of employee engagement, I have like 5 key things, which I'm sure you all will connect with me, and you all also will agree. But let's see, what are we trying to do? So my intention over here in this slide is, these might be quite generic points which we talk here, but try to think back in your own organization, what are we trying to do with this? Or how can, this thing can be done better? And during our interaction ahead, we can always discuss more on these things. So the first one is called motivation. I'm sure you all agree with me. Motivation is something that happens when employees are engaged. But motivation is pretty complicated thing to me, right? Because everybody says that, what we need to do is we need to motivate people. Okay, what next? How do you motivate them? There are 1,000 different things. Now, everybody's motivation is different. Fortunately or unfortunately, everybody has a different mind, and their idea of motivation is different. So earlier days, I'm talking about, say, some 10, 12 years back, when this motivation thing comes, everything was monetary. And it was very difficult to remove the money from the motivation and, to put it across, right? Like, for example, for anything they say, okay, money is the biggest motivator. Obviously it is biggest motivator, but it's a very short-term motivator in one way. You see, I'll tell you how it is. It's not like I'm against making money. It's good, but it's like this. Imagine this month you got a 500 rupees extra. You are motivated a little, but next month, if you don't get it, then you are much more demotivated than the way you are motivated last month. So this becomes an addition thing. Whatever, when it comes to monetary things, right? It's a part of it. We need to understand motivation in a very different way. So what organizations grown up is, they have differentiated 2 different things called as incentives separately, and then motivation. Maybe incentives will also motivate, but all the monetary things they try to put an incentive. And then when they opened up, let's try to motivate people. Now that's a challenge for many organizations. How do you ensure your people are motivated? People have different motivations. Some people are motivated when you give them a learning opportunity. Some people are motivated when you give them a responsibility, you give them accountability. Some motivate for something very different. Now, as an HR professionals, we need to see how do we set our engagement plan in a way that it caters to as many as possible. Obviously, you can't do one thing and assume that everybody get connected to it. But if something very strong is done, it is like this. The first one who's close to it will connect it first. And then if you continue, you keep the momentum. If keeps going, people keep joining slowly. The problem for us is many a times we start something, and when we see that we are not going in the direction that we really want, we tend to change the directions. Right. And it is said, like if you keep changing your direction every time, you go nowhere. You just be around in that place. So motivation is something that we need to really see with regard to what people you have, what is the processes that you're working with, how would you, pick that as a key thing for engaging your employees and so on and so forth. The second important thing what employee engagement does is commitment, right? How it helps you to bring in the motivation. The more engagements you do, the more motivation you get it. The more engagements you do, people get more committed to this, because engagements need to be planned in that way, right? There are some strategies which we talk about in some time, like, how engagement plans needs to be there, because we need to ensure that what we really want out of it, we should be able to get out of it, right? This also helps to bring in a lot of commitment from people. So if you look at in your organization, the employee who is more engaged is always more committed, right? Now when people in the top management ask you what is the ROI of of doing these engagements and all, you need to work towards this. Like how much you look at your top performers and you see who are all performing well. They're all more committed people, and they're more committed people are those who are more engaged with the organization. So our effort from our side is to how well we'll ensure that we engage people a lot, so that the commitment level increases. And for anything that you do, if you are more committed, your results would depend on that. That's the one which you do. And the result is what it talks about, the point number 3, called as productivity, right? Productivity is enhanced only when you see that engagement is there. People are feeling happy with what they're doing, right? Fun with what they're doing. So there was this long chase in our organization. I was talking this example of Urban Ladder, where we had a particular time, a value called as fun as a way of work. But as when we went, right, people understood fun as having a weekend party. Like Friday evening, if we party in the office, then it's fun. Every Friday evening, we need to get something going. It is also a little while it works, and then it becomes so monotonous. Like forget engagement, people, it becomes a demand. Like, oh, this Friday evening they have got nothing for us. It moves in a very different way. We moved our radar talking from fun to joy. Now joy is a very different thing, right? Everybody will have, like as I said, motivation. Joy is also like that. You get joy when you do something which you really want to do. So for an employee to get engaged, you need to see that what is it that creates that joy in them. And if you could give them that, right? Most of the time people get joy when they achieve something which they think they can achieve. So setting up targets like that, giving them an additional responsibilities, giving them cross-functional some exposure. These are some things which works. You think about it and let me know. So there are two kind of people, for example. One, I put them pressure and push them to the wall and make them work. Two, they are very joyful at what they're doing. Obviously, what do you think? Where do you get more productivity? Right. And pushing them to do more and more is not engagement, right? Creating them that joy in what they're doing is engagement. Like, unfortunately, the moment pandemic started, most of the companies all went digital, and everybody said, okay, meetings are this, one-on-ones are this, these are additionals, these are extra meetings. And apart from that, HR interventions of I will do the wellness thing. I will talk about each one to ask about how are they feeling. After a while, right, one round of it, it looks like it's an additional time I need to spend in front of, laptop. I'm sure the office work might not have reduced after the pandemic, but the work at home has increased, isn't it? All of us have learned new skills. If the way I put the new skills that you have learned, I don't know if you have learned a new soft skill or a new technical skill in this pandemic, but you have definitely learned how to cook, how to clean, how to mop, how to wash. So these are different skills which are more for the house, homeborn, but we have learned. So my point overall here is employee engagement, where you engage them in a way where they feel connected, where they feel joyful, right? Where they feel motivated and committed. Productivity obviously, increases. So all the efforts that we do from our HR point of view with regard to engagement is a supporting role that plays for the overall organization building. And that's why I say productivity is something that you could get. The fourth one is trust. Trust is a very interesting thing, and to me, to a level, it's also a little I had a very fun incident with trust. I was doing one training for Airtel. So this was the outbound training program. At that time, no pandemic, I'm talking about long back. So we took them for a resort and we need to do it. And the organization request is, I want to build trust among my team members. Now imagine I'm going to call all of you people and think all of you are in the same organization, and I'm going to tell you that this particular session is to build trust in you people, because your organization feels that you don't have enough trust among yourself. Finish. No more scope for trust there, right? And we we get challenges like this, right? And the Airtel says they wanted trust, so we build activities for it. For example, I'll tell you this activity which works. I'm sure you all are aware of it. This is something called as blind walk. Are you all aware of blind walk? If you know, then at least in chat say yes, so that I know that you're listening and we are there. Anyway, I can't see you. You can use your fingers a little. Have you heard of Pallavi has heard of blind walk, right? So there was this resort in, I don't know, most of you are not from Bangalore, but there is a resort in Bangalore called as Shakti Hill Resort. It's basically hill resort. Hill resort, inside a resort, there will be a hill, as simple as it is. Now these Airtel 35 folks, they wanted to build trust. What I did is I did a blind walk. In the activity blind walk, what it happens is we tie everybody's eyes and only the first person who is standing can see. That's all. Everybody holds hand like this and they stand in a line like a train, but they're holding one hand to the front one and one with the one who's standing behind. And they just need to walk. Only thing what I have done is I have took them on the hill. There I have explained the activity. I tied everybody's eyes and I brought them down the hill. Can you imagine getting down a hill, your eyes closed? And then only thing what they can trust is the person who is in front of them, and the person who's behind, they need to ensure that they help them. The way they were holding the hands, right? The way the bonding happens is very different. And I also didn't brought them in a very straight road. I brought them where there are stones, where there are rocks. I took that chance with their permission that, okay, it's okay, little scratches people can have, people will fall down, they get up, but at any point they can't open. Now it took around 20 minutes for them to come down the hill. It's a small hill, right? If you walk straight, it will take maybe 5 minutes for you. 20 minutes it took them coming down, and then we do a debriefing. So all our activities, when we say we have a briefing where we explain them what it is, give them props, you go to see the pressure the front fellow had. He would not have had ever in his life, because he is seeing, he knows that they're going to fall, and he says, okay, there is a stone, and he crosses, but there are 10 people standing. Now all of them are blindfolded, so they can only hear there is a stone, and everybody in their place started jumping. So I don't want to fall on the stone. Now it is so difficult for them to explain how to bring it, but they've got it. Now once the debriefing, I was asking them, what's happening? What happened over there, right? So they came down, their eyes are open, but I still see so many of them are still holding hands like this with different people. That's a very different kind of bond, because that 20 minutes, they actually were super scared. I'm going to fall down now. See, falling down is not a problem. That fear of falling down is a bigger problem. So that entire 20 minutes, the way they survived, they understood how important the other person is for them to do their task. Now in the debriefing, I explained them, see, in an organization, everybody is like that. Everybody is like that person who is in center. We really don't know to that level where it is actually going. And we really don't know what work I'm doing, what it's going to result in the next. But what I know is I need to do my part as good as it is. At the same time, I need to trust the one who's giving me the task and the trust whom I'm passing the task. Now that's the way how it's supposed to be. And then slowly we did many activities. I'll stop with one. But my point here is engagements will build wonderful trust. If I would have taken a classroom session and said that your people feel you don't have trust, now you start trusting, it would have never worked. This is something that would have worked. So you need to see every activity that we do where people need to work with others and they know their success depends on how others are doing. That is when they will build trust. Maybe initially they will hate it, they will not like it, they will push it, they will say that other fellow is useless, but slowly as the competition goes, you will see the winner is the one who have trusted each other, and that's how this really goes, and it helps you. And the fifth main thing that it does is retention. See, it's a bigger challenge always. I'm sure so many people were saying we're in recruitment and placement. You know how difficult retention is. And the other side, if I say, if people leave, hiring somebody else in that position, you know how difficult it is and how much time the productivity gets hit by them to know to the level what they are there. Now, there was another survey, I've not put it here, but which says the reason why people leave the job is not because of salary. The first reason is never the money. The first reason is immediate manager, unfortunately or fortunately. And that basically boils down to the kind of engagement that they have in the organization, where they feel that they are lonely, they're solo, they're isolatingly working and stuff like that. Engagements ensures retention stay, because when people are engaged with one another and they have such thoughts of, I'm not feeling connected, my boss is not as good as I'm expecting, people speak with other people. And when they speak with other people is when now all of you being an HR professional, tell me, the moment you know that there is a manager, because of him 10 people are getting affected, will you not take action? You will definitely do something for it, isn't it? But unfortunately, if this messages and informations doesn't come, you would know only in the exit interview, and exit interview is mostly a record, a database recording and stuff like that. That's all. We pass a message and they're like, okay, anyway, he has gone, leave it. Right? You want to protect the one who's still there in the organization. Engagement works wonders with regard to retention, because it's all actually to a level one thing. As much people get close to the organization, connected to, their way of working is very, very different. Now let's also see certain challenges, right? I've put 6 challenges in the current era, what we face when we say engagement, because as HR professional, I'm sure, or you tell me if this is not right, you wanted to do engagement things and you go to your management and say, okay, I have a plan, let's all go for an outing. What do you think is the first question they're going to ask you? What is the budget? Right? Where is the money? Do you know how organizations are at this stage? You understand all. Do you agree with me on this, or in your organization you have budgets free for engagement? Say yes or no. Do you agree with me? If you're agreeing with me, say yes. Hello, are you all listening? Type yes if you're agreeing with me. Yes. Okay. So you know that there's always constraints. See, every time you put a word or a sound, do you see the kind of energy that suddenly pops in? That's how trainers are. So keep interacting. Now let me tell you the 6 engagement challenges that people typically have. The first barrier, in fact, is lack of alignment in the top management, because people in the top will not understand so quickly, or not everybody will understand so quickly, that why so many engagement things are required, right? Because people in the top are more responsible and accountable in what they're doing, comparing to the people who are at the bottom, right? It's just because in the bottom you have, it's like a pyramid always. In the top you have less number of people, and as you go down and down you have more number of people. So the responsibility is shared among them, accountability is shared among them, so that the connectedness and engagement will also be distributed. Now people in the top always feel, what is wrong right now? Everybody is happy, everybody is connected, I'm not feeling I'm not engaged in the organization. And that's exactly the first barrier you get when you try to push. But if you know that this is going to be the barrier, you need to go with this explanation, what I'm right now trying to tell you, that engagement depends on the responsibility they take care, the accountability they take care, and as it goes down, people are at a very different level. So that's the first barrier. Now the challenge is why I'm showing you, because if you know the challenge and if you understand it right, half of the challenge is solved, other half is acting upon it, right? Working upon what is it that we can do for the challenge. The next one is bringing the rest of the organization along. Whenever you want to do an engagement thing, I'm sure you all understand this. There will be a set of people who are like, "Arey, again, one more thing." Half of them will come, other half will not come, and then we just try to do. Imagine like this. Let me put it in an example. How many of you have tried this engagement, simple engagement thing? Like tomorrow is an Independence Day, so let's all come in an ethnic wear. I'm sure every organization have tried, right? And you would also know that how many of them turn up. There are always different kind of people. Half of them will be like, oh, I didn't read that mail, I was late. They're all lame excuses because they just don't want to do that, as if something. Some are like very dedicated, early morning, pura, proper traditional attire and all, they come, right? We do have same for Navaratri as well. Okay, I hope people all follow in your organization, right? And there are some set of people who would be like half done, right? For example, in my organization, whenever we say traditional wear, they'll put a jean and then they will put maybe a kurta and they say, see, this is our kind of thing. So they will have their own way of it, right? And as an HR person who have organized this program, and you would have been with your best costume of traditional wear or a good sari that you have never normally don't wear, and then now you feel ki, why people are not getting connected. Now this is always a problem, right? The challenge here is not everybody will get along, or not everybody will get along at the first. You will have few people doing, you should be very happy about it, and only when the continuation of thing happens, then it happens. For example, if in case your organization has people who are more like those yo-yo kind of people who says that, okay, I don't want to be in traditional attire, but if you tell me a pajama party, I will come. Maybe you should do that also sometime. Don't just only stick to a traditional thing. See, the importance over here is neither this dress or not that dress. It's just people involvement and participation, and think it in those lines. You'll be able to solve this kind of problems. The next one is a balance between responsibilities and participation, right? So most people will come back to this. Yes, I will do. I want to do it, but I'm little busy. I have this work also. I have to do that also. And then you feel, if somebody puts an office work in front of that, what is it that you can do? These are all just people have different excuses. Now, this is another kind of a challenge which you need to see, right? So a way I would tell you is, when I do trainings, I'm sure other L&D people over here will understand. In a class, we'll always have a mix of people, right? Some are very soft, some are very intelligent, some are studious, and some are problem makers. So what I always do is, the most important responsibility, I'll give it to the problem maker. At least for that next 1.5 hours, the problem maker is focused to do that, because he got one activity, and he will do much better, because normally they're problem makers because nobody gives them that level of responsibility or accountability. It works. Try it sometime. The next one is basically lack of clarity, unable to understand the true value. It is half of it is your communication problem, where you need to really work and communicate them, but people will not understand the value of doing something, right? They say, "Arey, every day, what is it? Suddenly one day you say traditional wear. What is the value of it?" They would not understand, right? You need to push to a very different level to ensure such a thing actually happens. All right, people need to understand and get that value over there. The next one is basically external investors don't prioritize. People who want to spend money, especially your finance team or your investors for the organization, they say, "Hey, why spend so much money? It's already tough time, right? You don't get budgets enough." You need to give them a detailed, proper plan, why you need to do and how it needs to work out. So these are challenges and you need to face for that. The last one is a lack of communication on employee engagement. People don't communicate much. We just say last one day, tomorrow is the thing, we will do it. See, as an HR, I'm sure you all would understand and agree with me here. One email, when we send to our people to do something, it will not happen. You need to create a buzz, right? You need to create it in different ways. Once we get into the kind of big ideas, I will connect more on, how some of these things can be done, right? Let me move there. So when the challenges get bigger, when we perform employee engagement virtually gets more bigger. We spoke about a couple of challenges. Let's quickly look at those challenges. Like online training is boring, I shouldn't be saying that, doing a training online, but it is actually not as interesting as it's an offline training, even for the trainer, trust me. Because in my screen, if you see me, I see names. and I see Subbu's wonderful photograph. Rest all people didn't even care to put a photograph for me, right? So my point here is, it is looking like I'm talking to something and I do not know. A trainer's involvement. Okay, someone came on camera. I appreciate you. So I'm saying the involvement of a trainer is actually on the audiences and their responses and how you can help them. Because most of the time, whoever of you have trained would understand that a success of a trainer, a secret success of a trainer is when he is able to answer a question of a participant which he or she has not yet asked. They are still thinking about it, and you answer it. You feel, yes, I have done it. Unfortunately, digital, we have a little tough time over there, right? So that's the first challenge. Virtually you will find it. Online training is boring. You need to put extra effort to make it engaging. We will see how all those can be done. Lack of engagement for all, because there are so many people. Because online you have 50, 60, 80, there are some webinars we have 125 people, and what do you want to do engagement over there? It's pretty difficult, and not everybody would be connected. Whatever you do, they will have some people. And the easiest thing in digital media, or the online virtual things, is like, my internet has a problem, my mic is not working, my camera has these things. We have so many reasons. Like normally also we say tire puncture, but here we have more fresh reasons, right, not to do something. Participants encounter technical difficulties, and it is also true. Right now also we are doing all these things. This shouldn't happen, but right now imagine there's a power cut and I'm in a place where I don't have a power backup, so I have to rely on my laptop's battery backup and my things. There are problems. It could happen. Sometimes we leave it on, right? Lack of human touch, that is always there. We do not understand the importance of it until it is available to us. We all know that, right? Many a times we don't really know. We were dying like, why everyday office? It's so good to work from home, so good to work from home. Honestly, tell me, somewhere from last 5-6 months working, are you not desperate? I should go back to office, man. Where are those colleagues? Where are those little sutta breaks? Where are those little outside food? Now घर पे बर्तन भी धो, कभी ये भी करो, ऊपर से there are other challenges which I don't want to talk. I know it will touch the emotional part of all the HRs, but the other problems, right, which are currently you're facing. So the human touch is missing, and maybe too much touch with the family itself, which you always right now want to go out and do something different, right? Holistic development is always missing, because any learning doesn't happen just by one. Learnings happen with multiple ways. It's like this: when this particular presentation or this training is interesting, and not just you stand and talk. What I wear, unfortunately, might make a difference. The kind of images I show it on the screen makes a difference. The background makes a difference. It's not my real background. I got to come to a virtual background to ensure that you don't feel distracted with all odd stuff what I have. So many different things together, when you put it, works. And that's exactly how you need to do when it comes to an employee engagement as well. So I have some 5 quick digital suggestions. Now, whichever engagements you do next, try to bring in this in that, which should be helpful for you to sorting out. The first one is add value. Now, it might sound very gross, right? You would feel that, oh, why is it I'm doing, what do you think I'm doing something which I'm not adding value? Trust me, when things are done in a push way, not like you really want to do, because suddenly your boss says, hey, people are feeling like this, you're an HR, what are you doing? Go, man, do some engagement for people. You land up doing something which they don't find value. See, adding value is for the participants, not for you, right? When you're organizing, your people will participate when they find value in it. When they don't find value in it, they will not do. And value is found when you really give them a value, and number 2, you communicate them that this is a value that you're giving. Fortunately or unfortunately, that is how it needs to be done. Even if you give them the gold and they don't understand that this is gold, they feel, company would do it. You need to ensure people feel value, right? So find things that are dynamic, fun, interactive, and has meaning attached to it. If everybody finds some value in what they are doing, they would do. If they don't find value, they will not do. Even if you like your request, they would not do. So you need to ensure, how will I find value in it, working towards it. The second one I told is branding, right? Just finding a value doesn't make. Create excitement, energy in the organization. Let them feel the vibration of all the engagement activities. And, only when they are said, see, it's like this. When, for example, if I say, in your employees, you can think of, you will have people from say 10 to 80 with regard to, say engagement or connected to the organizations or open for things. Some people are at 10. You tell them, I'm doing this. There, yes, we are there. Some are there 20. You tell them and you tell one more time. Some are at 70. You need to keep telling them, keep pushing them. Maybe you will connect to their manager and say that you do, or you give them some responsibility. We do so much of circus that all needs to be done to ensure we go to that level. So branding creates excitement, energy in the organization. Let them feel the vibration of all engagements. A three-way holistic approach needs to be there, like where you can bring in activities that touches their emotional, their behavioral and mental and physical aspects. When these three things are untouched, it is difficult for people to get engaged, right? There you need to touch some emotion. Emotional touching in digital is like this. If I tell you something right now, and for example, you feel you are facing that problem, you are touched. That's all it takes, right? For example, I'm saying it's so difficult to get budgets in this tough time, and you really find it difficult to get budgets in this tough time. You are emotionally touched, isn't it? Then comes, we will see how do you work it. We will bring in the behavioral, we bring in the mental and physical. So the activities that we plan, you need to see that whether I'm able to do all these things, and that's typically how it needs to be thought of. Two-way communication channels. Always communication channel has to be two-way, even if it is digital, right? Push so much. I know it is a pain that I give. So many would have started thinking, why do I need to type also? I need to say also sometimes. Anyway, the session trainer will do. I know it's a pain, but I will still push. Right, that's exactly how it is. You like it or you don't like it. Only when you have typed something, your engagement with with this particular program is say 5% more than somebody who has not yet opened. Right. Say if you have spoke to me, your engagement is comparatively more than somebody who have not yet spoken. If I can see somebody over there, your engagement is more compared to somebody whom I'm not seeing. That is how it is always. So communication is, we all understand, verbal, non-verbal, right? All this, it needs to be always two-way. And alignment, right? Nowhere to hide. Create volunteer engagement. How do you ensure that people who are hiding, see in your company, when you're HR and you're managing the employee engagement, you know who are the open ones, who are the hiding ones, who are the medium ones. You need to have strategy for that. You need to see how do you ensure everybody get engaged. Few of the ideas we will discuss right ahead. So this is a general question. I thought, is your organization have structured employee engagement to a level you all answered me in the beginning. So let us understand how we can have an effective employee engagement program. Let me just have a time check. Are we good on time? Yeah, we're good on time. Right, it's 11. Actually, we're a little slow on time. Okay. Understand how we can effectively employee engagement program. So there are strategies involved. Now this we discussed a little bit. Now let me try to put it in a more connected way. An engagement works good when these four things are involved in it. An activity works good when these four things are involved in it. We somehow might miss one or two things, and that's where the engagement activity doesn't work. For example, all engagement activities will create some level of motivation, right? For people who are there, you need to see whether you brought in that. All level of engagements will have relationship building. That's the idea. We create activities and games to connect to one another. Sometimes we miss on the value input. We create something which is fun, which we do not see whether it is adding value to them or not. As I mentioned, if you think about the same activity in a way that how can we add value, you will get an idea for that, right? And then the fourth one is also recognition. People need recognition in the activities. If you are doing a competition and you keep it light and you don't give them a winner, you don't give them a prize, you don't give them something, they lost it, right? So it's okay not, if you're not able to give an iPhone as a prize, give them maybe an ice cream. that's okay. But still I am saying, or a chocolate. There has to be something to connect it to that. There has to be a recognition for somebody who has done good. So these sounds for very simple, but you look back at your own engagement things and see all these four are connected. If these four are connected, you are going to do good with your engagement activities. If these are not connected, then you're going to have a little problems here and there, right? Motivation, relationship building, value input, and recognition. These four are important in every activity that you do. Right. Now, look at, let me again give you an example of that blind walk, which I spoke to you to connect to this. See, people coming and, early morning out of your work, take them to a hill, have fun and all. Motivation is there, right? Relationship building is there. But then they need to walk down the hill. Now people have a different roles to do. And you know what I do? As I said, there are 35 participants for that particular program. I had 3 teams walking and 3 of them climbing down there. And then there is kind of a competition who can do good. So we have different parameters we suddenly bring in. Who will come faster, who will come with less falls, who will come with less missing your hands, because I can't disqualify anybody, it will not work otherwise. Activities should be yours. So when they come down and when you explain them the overall thing, they find value in how they are there. So in your activity, you need to see where am I putting all these 4, how am I putting and how these 4 are involved. Anything which you pick, see that there is motivation, see that there is relationship building, which will be there. That's why basic engagement thing has come, but also see that you are recognizing people for their work or for their effort they are doing, and value inputs are there. If these 4 are there, your activities have higher scope of success than lesser. Right. So next I have basically 3 big concepts which I want to talk, which you can do with your teams. But before going there, do you people have any questions still now? Or should I go to the big concepts? If you have any questions, say yes. If you want me to go ahead, then please type go ahead or say go ahead in the chat. Go ahead. Surinder says go ahead. Go ahead. Thank you. Thanks. Please go ahead. Okay, that's nice. See, such motivation, 3 messages suddenly comes. That's the motivation for the trainer. So 3 big concepts. Now, what I'm going to do right now, there is one way I will explain you the concepts, right? There is another way where one concept I will explain. Second concept, let us work together to make it more relevant. Are you all in with me? In working together, participating with me to do this?
Yes.
Yes, Surinder says yes. What about others? Right. So what I'll do is first concept, what I'm telling you, I will explain how it is being done and overall thing, right? Second one, I see the idea is like this. Giving you a concept is like giving you a fish. But if we together work, it's like teaching you how to fish, any number of concepts we can make later. So that's how it is. So Surinder, you said yes, so you need to be committed, right? We need to interact more on there when we come there. But let me first show you the first concept. Now, this first big concept, what I've done, this is called as Office Olympics. Now, in general, when I say, you all would have understand Olympics and many a times you would have done this. So let me first tell you how this is done as an activity or as a engagement initiative as such. Then we will see what is it that can be done to make it digital. Okay. Now, I've done this particular thing in an organization which has 350 employees, right? Now, one engagement activity which involves all 350 employees. So this is not like one day activity or one thing. This is a concept. That's what I said. So this concept worked for 3 months. An entire organization, 3 months talking only this. Right. Now, how is it possible to execute it something like this? And I'm going to share it all. Right. Then you can ask me also questions. How is it possible? One activity, 3 months, 350 of the employees are engaged. Okay. Now, the name as it suggests, Olympics, you understand Olympics, right? It's basically games. It's basically sports. Now, we all do it in individual things and all, right? I am not trying to teach you any rocket science, but I'm trying to teach you the way how you can think about it, how it could work and how it could make a different impact altogether. What is done was, we had 10 members leadership team in the organization, right? The CEO, CFO, the senior vice president, head of all vice presidents and CEOs. They are all called as our leadership team. There are 10 members, right? So the first concept buy-in came from them. So what all effort I have done, I would not go. I'll just tell you what is I have done, because it's a 2 months I worked for it to ensure they approve for it to go for the next 3 months. So what was done is, the 10 leadership team members are the anchors. They all have to create their own teams. Okay. So each leadership team, I have branded them, and they have come out with, this is, for example, Ashish is the CEO, Ashish team, or Kostab's team, or Nandini's team, and things like that. Now entire organization need to join them. Now, how do they join them? We had a 10 different colors of bands that we have brought, and then we left these leaders loose. I'm saying that I'm using the word like how I'm using it for an animal. Left them loose, saying that first 20 of your people you can select by yourself. Okay, so they have to go with this band and see, because now they know it is Olympics, and I have not said what activities will involve and all, but they want somebody to be sharper, somebody should be healthier, they want best players, and these people, whoever puts a band on them, they becomes their team member. You would see the craziness of leaders running around to get their first 20 in the office. Now that's exactly how the branding stuff done, where employees see ki, bhai, my CEO is running around to pick people. Why me? Why not me? They have to pick 20. Now the trick goes, these 20 people of each team, the next level, they are allowed to each one bring 5. You're getting my point? The 20 of them have 5 more to get. You know what I'm doing? I'm actually creating hierarchies in a very subtle way, so that bringing people is easier. CEO will say that, hey, you 20, I picked you, better you do it. And this individual says, boss, I brought you to this team, you better do this. And that is how the team divisions are done. Right now, everybody is a brand. Now they have first 10 days, no activities started, no games started, only promotion started. War. Who do you think will win? CEO says, do you think anyone has a chance? Then, suddenly a CFO says, do you think you can do anything if I don't do what I'm supposed to do? It's like a very, you create that atmosphere and you start building it. Now, all people are divided. That making the team is the secret sauce for the activities to work. Now we have 25 different activities, like how Olympics happen, where it is done keeping in mind everybody. Like we had cricket, we had foosball, we had carom board, we had chess. You pick any game, right? We had from rangoli to making a cake to ensuring that everything is there. And because the way the teams are diversified, not everybody participate. What we have said, team leaders or the leaders, that the CEOs or whoever is the heads of it, team leaders of it, they need to nominate their best to win. And there is a point system, there is a scoring system. It is like how our IPL is happening right now. There is a leaderboard, and then they nominate. Now, when it comes to a cooking competition, what do you think? Who will the leader will send? Obviously, among the team, who's the best? They are engaged. That's how it is. Now they get involved, and then they know that now they are full there. Now this particular person will have their own fans to call. So when these all things are done, it's done at a particular time, and my entire auditorium is always full because everybody has supporters. Now what I do when I see supporters are not coming so much, only participants are coming, I say that for every supporter, you will get 5 points. Finish. For me, points is number. That's all. See, we are organizers, right? 5 points. Now what they do, they spend a little time in gathering members. You also come. Everybody is coming is 5 points. Now you would see, so it happened. Additional team parties started happening. People are gathering in different sides, and they're strategizing how to win. Who should be the top 4 people who will play the foosball? But at the same time, what they do, whenever I see that there is one contestant who is doing in all the activities, I will come back and I'll put a new rule. Say that one person can participate in maximum 3 activities. Now you choose the next one. You can't just do that. So there is competition, there is preparation. Now, if you go on like this, all these 25 activities to be performed where everybody involved and scoreboard, it is being seen more than the sales board that we are seeing those 3 months right now. That's the success of it. And it is done. I haven't seen in my whatever 17 plus years of employee engagement career better than this. What works? Idea is very basic, very simple. But what is different here is the way it is executed, the way you have planned from the beginning. If you see the strategies I have said, all 5 are superbly, cocktailed to ensure this works. That's the first big concept that I wanted to share. Fair enough. Do you have any questions on this thing, or should I go for the second one, which Surinder has at least promised me that we'll work together?
Sure.
Right? I hope others would slowly join. The second idea is called as superhero idea. Okay. So because you people, I mean, Surinder took the lead, others have no choice to be part of it. I will just vaguely give you the idea, concept of the, this particular concept, right? This particular thing. Then I want you to see how this thing can be done in a very different way. Okay. So we all have this thing in us. We all at any point of time, some point of time, like superheroes. Right? Because superheroes have superpowers. I'm talking about like He-Man, Batman, Iron Man, or you see Avengers, you have all kind of mans and women, of course, right? Nothing to talk on gender biases. So everybody has a different superpower. Like if you see X-Men, there are so many and everybody has some power, right? Everybody some point of time would like some power to have. Like I wanted, I wish I should have been this, I should have been that. Okay. Now this entire concept is on that. How a superpower can be assigned to somebody or picked from somebody, and then we talk more about it. Just to start the conversation with Surendra. Surendra, which superpower do you really want if given a choice?
To understand the people's mind.
To understand the people mind. Now, this is a superpower which you and me are trying to have in common, which will be very easy for me to read you then. Tell me the name of the character.
Character in the sense?
Which superhero you want to be?
Spider-Man.
But you said you want to try somebody's mind.
Yeah, but I have never seen such character.
Have you seen X-Men?
No.
Oh, you have not seen, you don't see movies. Okay. So X-Men, there is a professor who I always see be there. The professor is actually a handicapped fellow. He sits only on the wheelchair. Okay. But he can get into others' minds.
Okay.
And so my favorite character is that, because I don't want to do so much physical running around and all, like, Spider-Man has to work a lot, Iron Man has to always fly. I want to sit and get into somebody's mind and make them do what it is. Like this fellow can get into a Spider-Man's mind and say, do this, and he will land up doing that. That's typical. So I'm just saying, now, for a moment you picked Spider-Man. Let's try to see few traits of a Spider-Man. Spider-Man is the character. See, we like a character because we have so many unsaid things connected to our emotions. For example, Spider-Man doesn't want to show everybody outside that he's a Spider-Man, because he's a little bit an introvert kind of a fellow. But at the same time, when a call for action comes, he don't bother who, the credit will come to him personally, not to him or to somebody later people would do, but then they'll jump in action. But he's a kind of an introvert person, right? Tell me, are you not like that kind of a person? I don't know you, first time I'm seeing you, but I feel that you are kind of a person like that only. Is it yes or no?
I never thought this way, but probably yes. I'm more goal-oriented, definitely
right.
say.
But you're a little silent, you don't want to show it off, but when it comes to something, you will jump and do the finish. Otherwise, you want to show, right? See, my point here is like this. We all choose a character, like a character, because our traits match with their traits. That's how we like it. There is no other way. if I go deeper into this, and if I find, right, for example, another shot I will take with you. Okay. And imagine you have a choice to be an animal in your next life. Which animal will you pick? So much you're thinking. You're on mute, I think. It's okay. Your kids are playing.
Okay, leopard. Can you hear me?
Leopard.
Yeah.
Okay. Now pick couple of traits of leopard. Okay. For example, leopard has a super speed to run, right? But it can't run in that speed forever. So the leopard's performance is like in spikes. When it does super, and then it needs a break. Are you a person like that? That when you get onto something, you just stand and finish. Otherwise, you want to be.
I'll say yes.
Do you understand my point? I hope others are able to get it. See, when we are, because I can only see Surinder, no, so I know his expression. Others I cannot see. That's the same challenge. My point here is, certain traits we try to pick because that's how we are. Now, if a superhero is connected to your people and you give them a choice, you pick your superhero. Everybody picks their own superhero. And then you know a bit about them now. Because how you know is the traits of that superhero more or less will match with them. Don't pick the negative traits, okay? They will run away. Your job is to engage with people. So you got to pick those traits, positive traits. Like I can't say that, oh, leopard or matlab tum sirf non-veg khate ho. Doesn't make sense in that way, right? Kacha maas kha lete. It doesn't work like that. It's more of a traits that you take, right? Not their way of living. Now, when you pick that traits, you would understand people connect themselves very closely. Now, this concept of superhero, what I'm saying, is all based on that. Imagine you have 50, 60, 70, 80 people, and they are divided in small teams. We have some manager who, I think, Zakir, is it? Zakir said that he's a manager of his team and he is attending this to know for his team. Maybe this is something that would work wonderful for, because you know your team, you give them, the moment people have powers, and now you start working like that powers, and then the game is open. Create what is it that you want to create. You getting it, my point, Surinder? Now, if you are designing the program, you need to see if everybody picks a superpower and then they need to execute like that. How would you do? People will start calling each other in that. You kind of engagement, you understand? Arey, hamara Superman kidhar hai? Right, we have work like this. Where is that Batman? वो हमेशा रात को ही निकलता है, दिन में नहीं आएगा. We'll start picking things like that, and people get connected and things moves in that way. So this entire concept of superhero is like that. If you list down say 20, 30 superheroes and give it to people and say if these are the characters that you have, now you pick. And you pick their traits and then talk about how they are, because it's so virtual. I just asked you one question on animal. I basically have 4 questions I ask people, and then I tell them 10 things, and normally 7 to 8 things are more or less matched to what it is. This is done more of in programs like that, where suddenly people will be like, see, this is something which can be conveyed into activities, right? Now, if this is the challenge that you want to do, imagine those 5 things, right? The strategies that we spoke about, all the 4 things: motivation, relationship building, adding a value. So his power should contribute him to be better than what it is, and recognize for what it is. And keeping this 4 in mind, let's try put it across. What is it that we can do? You getting my point?
Yes.
So any of these engagement thing works good when we try to connect to many people, and the strategy is making teams properly. Right, we normally take that activity very lightly, and we say that, okay, I made a list and I will tell. people happy to work with other if they have selected, not when you have selected. And we land up doing that because I know them, he should work with them, they should. No, they know better, they also want to win, right? Put a cash prize to win if you want to get more. Put some prizes, put some things. I'll tell you one another thing that I do in my training programs. If I do physically, I ask for some involvement among people. When I get a little bit, I want to motivate them. You know what I do? I ask the biggest fellow in that room, for example, at the CEO of the company sitting there. Okay. I take ₹100 note and ask him to put his signature there. Now I have a note with your CEO's signature. How many of you want this? Right? The value of that particular thing is increased to something much more than this. And now the entire competition is done, keeping in mind how the involvement is, and finally the winner would get that. Oh, it works very different ways how you can, do engagements. Like in retail stores, when we do this kind of an engagements, what we do is I have an incentive thing that I do. Like, for example, there is a ₹500 incentive for the one who makes the biggest bill. Right. So I was working for a retail company called Lush, where we sell soaps and shampoos, but one soap of 100 grams will cost you ₹800-900. So it's a pretty premium product. So each bill will be of 5,000, 4,000, and there are 5 staff. How do you think I'll motivate? So the moment he makes a 2,000 bill, I give ₹500 and I put him in his pocket. And I say the highest bill, the fellow will get this money. In the next half an hour, 1 hour, somebody makes a ₹6,000 bill. So this 500 from his pocket will go to his pocket. Then after an hour, somebody makes a 7,000 bill. And then from this goes to her pocket. By the evening, we will have good business. But my 500 is that much which has gone. It is like that. If you plan properly, put activities across and connect to all the 4, it will work. Right. So let's move to the next concept. I thought we'll work more detailed on it, but we're running a little short of time. I'll give you the 3 concepts. Think about it. Maybe we can connect sometime, and I've done some work on it. If you want, we have that to share. The third big concept is called as goal challenge. Goal challenge, what happens is something which I picked very much from digital, right? This is all what happens in Facebook, right? You would have seen somebody does some 10 push-ups for 10 days and challenges someone in the organization, in his friend list, and then they start putting it. See, that's how they're engaging. Now, if general public can engage like that, if HR and L&D folks think how well it can be organized. So as I said, the idea is very simple and common, but the implementation depends on this entire thing. Compare the goal challenge with the Olympics thing. We can actually start doing it. Say a manager does it for his team and team does to ahead. You can be very, very creative in that way, right? How can you give a goal by doing it yourself and give them that you do it, you show it, then the other fellow do. It is like, let it be a push-up, let it be making a dal makhani, or let it be making a round chapati, or let it be, it can be anything that you bring in. Right, where people are involved, they land up doing something which is not their regular thing, and then that becomes a challenge. As an organizer, as an HR, your intention is to connect the team, build it accordingly, put different concepts and aspects around it, and put rules, give recognitions, ensure that you're adding value. And as I mentioned, behavioral or emotional traits you should see. It should be physical and mental, how people are happy. Don't do anything where people are not happy doing it just because you think it is very good. End of the day, what we're doing is we're doing it for somebody. So in this entire process, what we have done is we have developed a deep kit. Deep kit is basically a kit which involves 25 special deep activities, what I call, like all the digital employee engagement activities, with all explaining the activity, what is it, how to do, and what are the other tools required to do it. Like if there is something where you need to take a score, then there is a scoring sheet available. If you want to do something else, there is another sheet available. So this particular deep kit basically has all the 25 special activities. It is like fully curated activities, what needs to be done and things like that. We also have some extra 100 activities for references and all these things. I create activities which sounds interesting, like for example, Bato Bato Mein. simple ones. All these are not big concepts. So when I said there are big concepts, inside the concepts, how do you do different activities? These 25 can give you a lot of ideas. Right. These are few names of those things. And today I thought whoever would attend the webinar and send me a WhatsApp message giving their name and their email ID and the organization they work, I will gift you the Deep Kit so that you can actually use it and benefit from it. So people, you have any questions on any of these things? I still have 15, 20 minutes time I can answer, but with regard to the program, this is all I have at this moment. So basically what I also do a little bit when you're thinking about your questions, I offer consulting services. Like for example, say, imagine an example like Surinder decides that yes, Office Olympics we should do. We had spoke for an hour, but I don't know how to exactly do it. Then we consult. We consult you in two different ways. Number one, I can coach you personally. How is it done with point by point and how it's done. Number two, I can execute this for you also. So those are the kind of things which are with regard to this activity. Otherwise, I basically do trainings and L&D consultations, which I do. So you people have any questions, you can ask me. And if you want the Deep Kit, I'll give it to you for free. Initially, when we were thinking of, I thought I will put a price of 5K for it and I will give some discount and all. But I think we have a small crowd today. So those people who will WhatsApp me with your name, with your company and your email ID, I will email it to you. Swapna, please share your WhatsApp number. So it's there on the screen. So you don't want to do that. So it's simple to understand. It's very interesting. You made it simple to, okay. WhatsApp number is on screen. Yeah, tell me. Zakir.
Yeah, Vijay. You have slightly touched upon ROI, that is return on investment.
Correct.
Okay. Can you just put more light on it? Because how things can be calculated in terms of ROI for employee engagement?
Right. See, employee engagement and training or L&D thing, both have like this. ROI is not straightly derived, said, if you do this, you will get it at this. Now, I can give you a way how people look at it. See, any engagement thing or even a training thing. For example, I do sales training. Okay. Now, if I say I did the sales training because of this, the sales happened, then suddenly people have this thing, no, because there is a salesman also, there are product also, there's so many things contribute together. Everybody do their part. With regard to engagement, when we say ROI is like this. If we could establish, or if you would understand this fact that more engaged people will have better productivity and you have communication freeness in the organization where people give feedbacks and share feedbacks. Engagement helps you to do that. One way of easy measurement is the retention, right? For example, as of today, you see the attrition rate in your organization and then in your team maybe, and then start some engagement activities and see the attrition rate changed. Now, if the attrition rate is changed, if it's reduced or increased, that is the ROI for you, right? That's exactly how you can say. Now, you ask people how they feel about each other today and take a survey for it. I'm sure employee surveys are done. And then you know where they're finding it good, where they're not finding it good. Then engage into employee engagement activities for a particular period of time, maybe 3 months or 6 months, and redo the same thing. You will understand whether it's improving or not improving. And that's exactly how the ROI can be measured. It is a simple investment that we need to do. Investment of money is little in any engagement activities. It is there, but more is from the time perspective. And you need to see in the organization how many people are willing for that. That's exactly why I showed you a survey which says 100% people feel that employee engagement is required. So it needs to be put there. But straight ROI, you can see your attrition rate. You can see the engagement scores. You can see from the surveys that we do and what people would say. I hope I answered your question, Zakir.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Yeah. Any other questions? Any other questions?
So, can I say like, do you also support like kind of event management if we are having some uh, how to say corporate town hall or something like this? Can I
Uh,
say where you can do this kind of sessions or
yes, yes. I
okay,
basically do that. I do sessions. I do a lot of sessions. I can. I mean, you can search me in LinkedIn. You will find it. I will send you my link there so
okay,
that
that,
you can connect me there. That
sure,
would be helpful. Let me just try to put that. So it will show you, but I do a lot of activities normally when it comes to say managers meetings or the team meetings which people do. I come there and do sessions which are more from that perspective. So either it is any motivational thing or any subject, it comes to process or things like that. Sorry, I have I'll put for everyone. Okay, so I have my LinkedIn profile is in the chat box. You can go, you can get connected, you can see a little more about me and my organization, what it is to.
okay.
Great session, ample of inputs and important key areas we need to focus in its current era. Thank you. Okay, cool, very good. I'm happy. uh,
One point which I also want to ask, I don't know if it is right forum to ask, but something which I would like to understand. So, for example, from my side, maybe I'm presenting my personal problem. So, what we are trying to do is trying to get into different vertical in the company, which is digital vertical, where we are going to go for digital solutions.
right.
The customers which I'm dealing right now is from completely manufacturing. Okay, and when I'm talking with them for the digital solutions, I see kind of you can understand I'm from completely software background. Do you think there is some kind of training or something can like kind of presentation or kind of interaction? Like for example, you started with very one simple point of emotional touch, right? So these are very important small factors. When we start with, people get attached or how to
Exactly.
say touched.
So it's like
So
this. I'm a trainer. I told you all the time. I worked in this company called as Lush. Okay, Lush is a handmade cosmetic brand which sells soaps and shampoos. I said no, the premier soaps and shampoos. 900,000 rupees is a 100 gram soap, which will come for you for 10 times shower.
mhm.
खत्म हो जाएगा. ऐसे products are like that. Now I thought when I joined the company, what cosmetics a person uses? A soap, a shampoo, a paste. और क्या होता है? और क्या होता है? I don't know. I was like that when I joined. It took me a shock to see that there are 150 different products that can be used, because that's the thing. I have zero knowledge. Now, if I go to my team and say that I'm going to train you in all these things, do you think they would accept me? No. 2 months I worked in the store like staff to learn everything from them. Right. But what I know is how to do it better. But what to do, I don't know. 2 months I learned from them. When I worked for 2 months, I have a very different kind of bond that I do. And then when I go back and give them the examples of what they do, but I have kept my position that I'm their training manager, I just do that. But I'm learning from them because I don't think learning from anybody is more or less. Everything is fine. So I learned 2 months with them. Then I came back and designed a program and went back to train them how you can sell. So they say that एक month पे था, 2 month पहले तो आपको product भी नहीं मालूम था. Like, how are you right now? I said, yeah, इसलिए तो सीखा मैं. I cannot teach you until there. So I'm saying, I suggest you spend that time. A day you spend with them with what they're doing, their respect for you will be there. The only problem is in their mind they will come, यार ये software बंदा AC room में बैठा है, इसको क्या मालूम हमारा साथ क्या हो रहा है. That's their unsaid problem, or they said sometimes they might have told you also. Go down to them for a couple of days, then they will automatically accept. But at the same time, never leave your position. Just because you are being a helper there, you ensure that you're a helper for that day to learn from there. Don't put down key.
Okay. Yeah.
Don't spy on them.
Okay.
Right? genuinely go to learn from them. It really
Oh,
right.
okay.
And you can do a number of sessions in any way, right? You can see anything else you need on this. You can connect to get in touch with Seed. Seed will help you, right? If you want, if I'm not able to send you the kit or anything, right? I'm sure you have put an email or I would have sent, or whoever wants this, please, you need to get in touch with Seed and they will be able to help you and help you to connect with me or whatever it is. Right. Anything else? Should we call it a day?
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you very much for all your time.